Up, y'all? So 21, 22, 23, and 24 are pretty similar. I'll do 21 and 23 because those are a little bit different. So I'm going to go kind of fast. If you need to restart the video or rewatch it, let me know. So it says determine the equation for the given transformation and then sketch both graphs. So it says g of x equals 3 to the x. Our next transformed exponential function is h of x is a reflection of g of x over the line x equals 0. So if we know we're reflecting over the line x equals 0, that's actually going to be reflecting over the y-axis. So our h of x equals, and if we're reflecting over the y-axis, our x is going to be impact. So it's going to become 3 to the negative x. So that's our new equation. And so what we can do now is we can actually graph this. So g of x equals 3 to x. Let me go down here. Get to our graphs. Where are they? Right here. So we have g of x equals 3 to the x. And then our other equation is h of x equals 3 to the negative x. Oh, shoot. Hold your horses. H of x equals 3 to the negative x. So now I can graph this. Now, what I recommend, y'all, when you're doing this is I recommend you set up a table. You have your x values, you have your y values, and then I recommend you just try 0, 1, and 2. So if we were to plug in 0 for x on this first one, you're actually going to end up getting 0 or 1, right? Because 3 to the 0 is going to automatically give you 1. If you were to plug in 1, 3 to the 1 is going to give you 3. If we're going to plug in 2, right? So now you're at 3 to the second, which is 9. And so now I can just graph these points. 0, 1 is our first point. 1, 3 is our second point. And then 2, 9 is our third. And I'm not going to be able to go anymore, so let's just graph these now. Do your best, okay, but it should look something like this and won't cross the x-axis. And now what you can do is, you have two options here. Option one is that you can just kind of go back through this, create another graph, and graph it. Okay, so you have this here. And if you're doing this, kind of pay attention to what's happening. And so if we were to plug in 0 for x, it's going to be negative 0, which is just 0, which means when x is 0, we're still going to get 1, which means our first point is going to go right here. Okay, now if x is 1, okay, and you plug in 3, you're actually going to get 1/3. So now if you think about it, we're going to have to kind of do the opposite. So let's do negative 1, which is going to cause our answer to be a positive, which means it's going to give us 3. So this was 1/3. Sorry, I forgot to write that. Now, look, y'all, what's happening? Negative 1 to 3, look, it's just reflecting. So in reality, I can go all the way, so 2 to 9, to negative 2 to 9, and because we're just reflecting. And so your next graph is going to keep the same y's, but change the x's to negatives, and you're going to get that reflected graph, okay? Now, if I was going to do 23 really fast, 23 is this, but now we're going 2 units right and 3 units down. 2 units right, 3 units down. So we still have the same parent graph, which is g of x equals 3 to the x. But now we have h of x, and we're actually going to be translating up, down, left, and right. So it says 2 units right, 3 units down. 2 units right, 3 units down. So 2 units right is actually going to cause us to do x. Right is actually going to be subtracting. Okay, and then 3 units down is going to be subtracting 3. So there's our graph. So again, I would just graph the exact same thing. You could create a table, but we should already know is the same as up here, that green one. And so we're going to have the exact same first few points, and then 3, and then 2 is at 9, and now we can graph this. Sorry, I'm kind of going fast. If you need to, you can rewatch it. Now this one, two ways is you can make a table and plot in the points. However, I would just do this. If you know we're going 3 units right, just count 3 units right. Right? Just do 3 units right for each point. 1, 2, 3, and then 3 units down. 1, 2, 3. Put a point. Do the exact same thing for all the points. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Last one. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you have your next exponential function. It's not going to cross the negative 3 line.